Okay. Hello my dear friends. As I mentioned at the end of the previous session, in this educational video we were going to start with practical concepts in Python programming. I thought that in the fifth video I would introduce you to the data structure in Python and examine the features of the data structure together. But considering that a small part of the review and explanation of the previous video program is still left unsaid, so I decided to dedicate a short video for this purpose. I promise you that in the next video we will start with practical concepts. Okay. In the continuation of the program that we examined in the previous video, we saw that in order to apply repetition in the program, we need to push these end lines forward and apply indentation on them. You can see that we here apply the for loop for repetition here. Don't worry about these comments, I will explain them to you. To repeat the program, we use the third method of using for. For example, we choose to run the program 10 times. 10 times. We save so far, and you can see that the program runs 10 times. Let me do this. You can see that by pressing the F5 button on keyboard, the save message will appear on the screen, and by clicking on the OK, the program would be saved. Of course, we have to give a name to this program. Don't forget the .py extension. And you can see that the program was executed 10 times, and you can see that the printed messages are the same. Wow, such an accident. Let's examine the reason with each other. Okay. Of course, if we want to repeat the program 100 times, we can select the input of the program, actually input of this range built-in function as 100, and the program will be executed 100 times, but it will be too long. The next part of the changes we wanted to implement was the delay. Can you remember? We wanted to do 3 tasks. We wanted to add 3 tasks to our program, 3 new tasks. One of them was repetition, which we applied by the for loop, and the second one was applying a delay. As I said before, we have 2 methods to access modules and submodules. Here we use the second method. You can see that. Here we have imported the time module for this step. You can see that here. Okay. And we can uncomment these lines. We should choose sleep from the available options. This sleep receives a number as input, which is the number of seconds that will delay the execution of the program. So the input of this sleep is a number. Be careful that in this method, when using the result of the methods in a submodule, the names of the modules must be mentioned first. You can see it here. In the previous method, since we entered the module and submodule from the beginning, there is no need to repeat the module name in the calls. It is correct to use both methods. In most cases, choosing the optimal method is related to your personal preference. For example, suppose that there is a function named f, and there is a function with this name inside both modules A and B. If we use the first method and write from A import F and from B import F, there is a submodule inside both of these modules and their names are the same and equal to F. Then if you use this F in the program, how can you find out which F is used and which module did it come from? In these cases, we use the second method to solve this problem. That is, first we only import the modules and then we use the a.f parentheses and the b.f parentheses methods to call the f function. In this situation, it is better to use the second method of accessing modules and submodules. Okay, back to our program. The third thing we wanted to do was randomly apply this module. Let's see it with each other. You can see that the third task was to apply a random delay. For this, we need to enter the random module, which we did it at the top of our program. We use Python shells helper functions to familiarize ourselves with this module. Let's do it. We can apply the help function of Python shell and apply it to random module. You can see it here. Okay. For example, we can also use dir parentheses random. Using a help function is one method, and we can also use another helper functions of Python. You can see that because of the longness, because these explanations are very long, here Python shall want you to double click to expand and it can show you these explanations. We can use help function, and of course, in addition to it, we can use another helper functions of Python. Let me introduce you to one of the other helper functions of Python, dir. We can apply it on random, the module random, and press enter. And you can become familiar with the random properties. We can also apply this dir to the rest of the modules and get to know them. Let's do it, for example, dir sys, for example. dir os, for example. Okay, we got some errors because we did not import these modules. Let's import them. Import sys. Now dir sys. You can see the explanations. Now import os. dir os. You can see the explanations. Okay. Let me again type the dir random. These are the explanations. These are the built-in functions in the module. These are the properties of random module. Now we have to choose a randint among the options available in random. If we apply help to each of the submodules, we can get what that submodule is doing. Let's do it. For example, apply the help function on the submodule of randint. Let's see, does it work? We got an error. So, what should we do? We should apply the help function on this phrase. We need to use the random first because we are using the second method of accessing submodules. Let me see that. Does it work? Yes. It gives you some explanation about the submodule randint inside the module random. By reading this information, we understand that randint is exactly the submodule we want. So with random.randint, parentheses, 1, comma, and for example 100, we can get random numbers between 1 and 100 of type integer. Let's try it. Random dot randint parentheses 100. Let's see the result. For example, 92 is a random integer number in the range of 1 and 100. Let's apply it again. We can of course use the copy paste method, and you can see that we got 14 as a random integer number between 1 and 100. Okay, so we have used it inside our program. We come to our program and we know that in order to use the features of the modules we must enter them first, so we did it. So we define the wait time variable here so that the output storage container is random.randint parentheses 160. You can see this line here. To avoid getting too long, the number 10 can be replaced with 4, which was at the first. Yes, you can see it. Now we can run the program. Press F5, click OK, and the save message appear on the screen, and we can see that the message odd minute is printed because the number of minutes was odd at that moment of execution. After a random number of seconds, the program will be repeated and run again. We do not know how many seconds because this value is uncertain and in the range of 1 to 60. The interpreter runs the program again. Actually, the interpreter runs the program 4 times with the random number of seconds as delays. And in these 4 times of execution, you can see that all the minutes of the program, all the minutes that the program was executed at those minutes were odd. Such an accident. What do you think? Do you think that it is happened just by accident? Or do you think that there must be a reason behind this? Why did this occur? What do you think? Let's examine our program together. Look at this line. Because write this minute variable here is not in the loop, the repetition loop of course, That is, after each stop, the repetition loop is applied again to the previous right this minute. Actually, the minute of applying these four repetition loop applied to are the same, was the same, so the result of the printed phrase was same too, you know. To solve this problem, we need to move the right this minute definition into the loop. Let's do it. We can select this line, cut it, and move it here. Let's try. Press F5, click OK, and the save message appeared in the screen. Okay, this time you can see that the first printed message is the not an odd minute. Of course, the reason is that the minute of execution of the program was not an odd minute, but an even number. After a random number of seconds as delays, the program will be executed again, and we don't know that how many numbers of seconds we should wait to see the second printed phrase on the screen, because we have used the random module, and this process is really uncertain, is really random actually, and we can see that the second printed phrase on the screen is odd minute, so it differs from the first one. So we succeed, you know. It means that in this time you can see that four results are different, and in some cases the number of minutes is even and was even, and in some cases it was odd, so the printed phrases are not the same. So you should pay attention to these points. So we did the three things that we wanted. Note that it is not necessary to remember all these points. Let's talk a little about the range of function. Let's wait some moments to see the fourth phrase printed on the screen together, and then let's talk a bit more about the range of function. I want to show you, I think you can touch the concept if you show the fourth phrase too. Yes, this is the fourth printed message, and you can see that these four printed messages are not as the same which occurred in the previous attempt. Okay. So let's go to our Python shell. Okay, we are here on Python shell. Okay. Let's talk a little about the range function. We can easily get information about range using help. So yes, let's apply the help function on their built-in function range. Because the explanation is too long, Python wants us to double click here to show us the explanations. We do it, and we can see this explanation. Okay, you can see here. As you can see, this explanation is very long. Okay, one of the standard models is the model you can see here, range parentheses stop model. This is the model we have used. That means, in fact, stop is the same as for. This number specifies that after how many seconds the repetition of the program will stop. Another model is, you can see it in the next line, range parenthesis, start, comma, stop, comma, step, and close the parenthesis. That is from what second should this repetition start, and at what second should it stop, and also how much should this time advance. This is the step actually. This word inclusive, which means start is considered within this range, stop is exclusive and is not included in this range. For example, when we wrote a range parenthesis for and close the parenthesis, it was repeated 4 times. That is when we do not define start, 0 is considered. If we do not value step, the interpreter will consider 1 by default. If we set the step to a negative value, the interpreter considers the progress of the program to be downward. Okay. Thank you for being with us until this point. In the next video, we will explore more key concepts. Stay with us and have a nice day.